Oke, good afternoon Bapak and Ibu. Selamat datang di CH Parenting Camp. Okay, today we have Pak Jelmer who would be presenting the today's topic basically. Okay, that's him. I'm going to be making him the spotlight so everyone can also have a look at him. Right. So, all right. So let's just start. Pak Jelmer, are you ready?
Yes,
Pak
ready as
Jelmer, make sure you unmute your microphone. All right, perfect. Okay, time's yours,
okay.
Pak.
Is my voice clear, Pardoni?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, thank you, Pardoni.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our parenting camp again on this beautiful Wednesday. For today, we're gonna chat about the future of our children again, how to prepare them for the new world, what is coming up, and what we as parents can do to aid them in the best way possible. Okay, share screen. Okay, let's make a little button here and let's take this one away. Okay, making our next generation ready for the real world. Why to follow the path of engineering by Mr. L. For the topics for today, we're gonna look at a child's view of the future. So, as children, I mean under 10 years old, a teenager's view of the future, possibilities at elementary and high school, and the possibilities which we have here at school, CH Makers class that we do here, the choices to make college, university, or maybe take an apprenticeship, why to choose an engineering path for the future, changing our world, automation in daily processes, and how to help our children to make their choices. So, we're going to start off with a video. These are all from YouTube, by the way. This is an interview with some children, and we're going to take a look how a young child looks at the future and what kind of job this child wants to have. What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be. Hey, I never think about that. I think about that. Well,
I want to be a teacher when I grow up.
elementary teacher. I like little
Babysitter.
pastor.
Dolphin trainer.
A gentle that eats bugs. A haircutter.
A person who helps in charities.
I'm a cashier. The author. Chapter books about mythical creatures and animals and things. I want to be a lawyer. Lawyer. Pilot. Pilot. And a dad. A pilot racer dad. Scientist. Scientist. Paleontologist. Mindful dinosaur bones and studies. YouTuber. Movie star. A famous actor. Actor. On stage. On TV. On Disney Channel. Or commercials. I'm gonna be a model. I work here. As a model, I used to be a policeman. Police officer. I got car chases. Catch bad guys. As a bail. Batman. Finally.
I would like to go into the U.S. Army because my grandma, she loved the Army, but she never went into the service.
I want to be third African American gymnastic coach. I want to be a professional dancer. Dance teacher. Ballerina. Professional soccer player. I have a shirt on right now. Football player. Basketball player. Basketball, football, or soccer player. Or baseball. I can never choose. I do not know. I'm still working on that. Maybe when I grow up, I'll pick. I already have a whole plan. So the Air Force for 20 years, become a businessman, make my own company for cars. I want to be a Pokemon trainer. I want to work at Target. I want a cake. I want to be a pop star, rock star, singer.
I want to be a cook, but I don't really know how to actually cook.
I want to be an artist. Teacher. I want to be an artist that goes around painting walls. An artist and a video game maker. Video games are great. I want to be a filmmaker.
Do you know what your dad is?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Here we had some examples of some children and what they want to become in the future. And younger kids place themselves into a few groups. We have the adventurous jobs like being a pilot, a police officer, or a job which they choose because what their parents do. For many of the children, we as parents are their biggest idol. We are their number one in the world. Mom and dad are perfect. What does mom do? Yeah, I know actually. What does dad do? Yeah, I don't know what dad does. He just goes to a factory every day. But we, as parents, should be a great example for them, to showing them love and showing them that they are the best ones in the world for us. Now, in a later stage of life, students will think a little bit more about what they will do. So, asking this question to children who are in kindergarten and grade 1, 2, and 3, actually 1 or maybe 2% becomes what they wanted to become in kindergarten. They keep by their goal and they did what they wanted to do. Most of the students coming into puberty, they will start to change. At the end of puberty, they will start to learn more about the world. They look more at opportunities. And in change of being a young kid, the world is 10 years further as well. Me as a kid, a game designer, there were no video games yet, or a web page designer, those jobs weren't there yet. So some thoughts on what children want to become will grow over time as well. Now, a teenager's view of the future is, of course, already well developed. They look at the experiences which they had at school. Some of them already had a job. Also look at the concept of money. How much can I earn? It is a really nice that you want to be a painter. Maybe you're really good at painting, but can you make a living for you and your family for this? The concept of job availability. It's nice that everyone wants to become a police officer, but if everyone works for the police, there are no criminals anymore. And some of them you will see that they have a vision on job application process. They already look at what will happen when I study this. Will they only look at my study or will they look at my grades? What will happen? So let's hear some of the older students and their visions of the future. These are students between 11 and 16 years old.
When I leave school, I think I'd like to be
that's the highest paid
uh, uh,
I don't know what to be.
research zoologist.
So I want to go into banking. In terms of jobs after university, no, I don't really have much idea. £600 or lower? I'm not sure. 20,000 monthly salary? I think most people earn about 5,000 per year.
University kind of promises something.
I'm not sure why I need to go to university, but I need to go there to get a good job.
I think there is an assumption. If you say I went to uni, then it's almost that respect. If you have a degree, it's much easier to kind of go in at the top.
In order to get the job as a mechanical engineer, I believe that you really need a bachelor's degree.
It's quite a high achieving school that I go to, and therefore, yeah, I suppose university always seemed like a logical step.
Saw on the Balfour Beatty website that they were doing a high apprenticeship that actually offered me to go to university through them.
44,000. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot more than I expected.
It's a bit ridiculous. Oh my god.
The benefits of doing an apprenticeship over going to university to do the degree, I think, is that I'm learning on the job. I'm earning while I do it. I get the degree out of it at the end without the debt.
data suggesting that yes, as much as we do need strong growth in graduate level jobs, there's also going to be a lot of growth well beyond those that require your more formal university education, whether through apprenticeship or workplace learning.
Okay, well, let's go back to the last page. Well, they interviewed a couple of students, and some of them already have a short vision of the future, and most of them were quite amazed about the cost of education. Is it worth it for us to spend, I'll give an example, Britain, £15,000 a year to get a graduation, to get your bachelor or to get your master? How much more money will I earn when I have a master degree? Or maybe I will earn less. Can I directly find a job when I leave school? How can I pay off all of these debts? Some of the students already look at this concept when they look at the future. And if your children are in grade 9 or 10, it is wise to already have this chat with them. What do they want to do? What do they want to become? I'm the homeroom teacher of grade 10, and last year I didn't actually have any clear answers yet for my students. One of them really wanted to work with animals, and he told me, but what can I learn here at school with animals? What can I do with my IGCSE? What can I do with my international high school diploma? And I told him, it's a stepping stone for you. You can start your own shop and you can have your own animals. You can already do it right now. But you can also choose to study a little bit more and you know more about the animals. More of them will stay alive and you will become better in breeding them. And business wise, you will learn accounting and how to run your business. And this is things that you miss right now. So my advice for him was not that he liked school, but to keep on studying. He can do his job well now, but the only job he can do is taking care of the animals. He doesn't know how to run a business. So for many students, it is really wise that when you're at high school, that you already orientate on what you want to do. Now, studies, universities are quite expensive. If the student does well at school, they have a chance to get a scholarship. Now, not all of the students get a scholarship. You need to be, in a way, a little bit more special. You need to have a certain skill or extremely high grades for all of your subjects. And students which have high grades for everything, they probably go into an academic process. They want to choose to do a apprenticeship. Now, why do the students choose for this path? They are good at learning, and they are probably less or lesser at their social skills or their handcraft skills. So they choose something in which they are really good. And hopefully for them it will work out as well. Now, in this video, I've stopped it before it happened. We also have the concept of job application processes. Some of the students look at this as a problem. What happens? I can study until I'm 24 and I can try to find a job, but I have no experience. Or I can do a apprenticeship. I can study a couple of years and at the same time I learn. I have a little bit lower degree, but I have the experience. And there are some entrepreneurs there which give the advice. We're not looking only at your grades. It's really nice that you have a nice diploma, but things that we want from people and things that most companies want nowadays are communication skills. Are you good at making a conversation? Can you sell a certain product? It's nice that you score an A plus on mathematics, but does this help you in life? How often will we use mathematics when we're done with school? Only if you have a specific job in mathematics. Mathematics I learned during high school and college The only time I started to use this again was here at school as a mathematics teacher. For the rest, I have my computer. It does everything for me. They are looking at leadership skills. Are you a good leader? Can you speak in the front of a group? Do you have the confidence? These are things which you cannot learn from a book. These are things that you need to practice. These are skills which you need to develop. Looking at hard working and enthusiasm. This has to do with the person themselves. We cannot teach people to work hard. You need to have it in you. If you really want to be a workaholic and do as much as you can, then that's your choice. They also look at teamwork. Can you work well together? It's nice that you're the smartest in the group, but if no one can work with you, you're just all alone on a single island. And of course, creativity. Creativity is super important. Creativity means that you can be flexible. You can easily change something. You see a solution for a problem. And creativity is something which a boss wants from you. And if you want to start your own company, you need to be creative in ways how to make money. Now, the possibilities at elementary and high school, for an example, I take our own school. Of course, we have our academic achievements. We are looking at the grades we can score. You can study really, really hard, get your doctor, go to the university, become a master in something, and you did all of this because you can learn really well. But this learning is learning a piece of text from a book. Is this a skill which you will use when you are older? Is this a skill you will use when you are a doctor? Maybe it's handy to be good at remembering things, but nowadays we have the internet. And school in this way is a little bit old fashioned. We didn't have the time yet to change into this new E type of civilization that everything is online and that we can access every knowledge that we want at every time of the day in any capacity that we want. We open up our phone, and if I want to read 100 articles about, let's say, hairdressing, I can read 100 articles. I can teach myself how to do these things from the internet. Now, things that we do here at school as well is exploring creativity. Some students are super creative, not wonderful pianists, good with the guitar or the drums. Some really like to draw. Now, what can we do with our own students at home, especially now during the COVID virus? Many of our kids are sitting at home and they're not doing anything. They are watching YouTube or a TV show, and it doesn't make them any smarter. It doesn't, they can't create anything. They don't challenge their mind. What can we do as parents? We can show them a YouTube video on how to do origami or on how to make something else. We can let them make something. We can let them deliver a product. Now, delivering a product is something what we need to do as a employee as well. We have a product which can be, for an example, you need to deliver your work at the end of the day. Design a PowerPoint file. And in this way, the children at a young age already learn how to make a product, how to develop their own ideas. Here at school, we also have Children's Republic. In the morning, I come at school, there's a police officer, maybe just 1 meter tall, standing outside, helping me to park my car. There are 4 or 5 junior nurses standing outside of the front gate who check me up. They measure my temperature, they look at my nails, they look if I have animals in my hair, and they check my health. Here at school, we learn the children to already have a role in the society. We prepare them for doing things. We can do this at our home as well. We can take our kids and we can let them cook. We can help them and we can teach them how to cook. Some of them might really love this. and might develop this skill even further. And it's always handy when you leave school and you're all on your own that you can cook. Now, we have a couple of roles here at school, the nurses, the police officers, and the children learn how to be someone else, how to be someone who is working. And us as employees and the children here at school, we need to listen to them and respect their decisions. And yeah, they get a little bit angry at me sometimes. I don't want to park my car where I need to park it. And then I think by myself, Yelmer, you need to look at yourself. Listen to this. This child is doing something, and you need to advise and you need to comfort this child in the stuff that he does or she does. And the child, when you as a parent listen to the child will become more confident. And this is a skill which they need to develop. Here at school, grade 9 until 12, the students can also do a internship. We have a couple of companies which we keep in contact all year long, and the students will go to these companies and they will work here for a week. They will look at how things work inside of a company. Some of them are in a company which sells ole ole kas souvenirs. Some go to a clothing company and they need to advise clients. Some of them will sit in an office all week long. Some of them will go to a hotel and help and look at how a hotel runs. So there are a bunch of different places where the students can do internships. And in this way, we try to prepare them a little bit for the world coming ahead. Me at high school, I didn't do an internship. We didn't have this for the classes I went to. We only had this for the classes which were on a lower grade, the more the classes focused on apprenticeships. What we try to teach the children here are presentations and becoming a confident speaker. The children here need to develop a thesis or a product, or maybe have a argument with someone else. We call this a debate. And what we learn them is not only to make a product, it is also to defend their product. We will question them. We will ask them, why did you do this? Did you plan your money right? Did you deliver what you wanted to deliver? Which problems did you have along the way? And with these presentations, the students will become more confident. They can speak better in the front of a crowd. Some of them need some extra skill. They will look at a piece of paper for a while and just read what's on the paper. And some other students are running around using their body language, trying to have a connection with the audience. And it is wonderful to see that we have such skilled young students already. And year by year, almost every year, they can develop a product. And year by year, students will become better at these things. Now, some of the students already joined CH Makers. CH Makers is a class which we developed for in the afternoon to let students become more aware of what they're doing every day. They can study extra in the class, they can develop a product or develop their own ideas. And here, on top of the kindergarten, on top of TK, we have two classrooms, our wet and our dry lab, and the students will be busy doing other things there. In our dry lab or our physics classroom, we have a lot of computers and they can work on their thesis. In our wet lab, we have a chemistry lab, which they can work on making stuff. They can do things with food, they can do things with plants, they can glue stuff together, they can do electronics here as well. And the students, most of them, we let them completely free. They look at their own products they have, they look at the material that they have, and we let them make mistakes. Now, why do we let them make mistakes? Because they will learn better from this. We cannot always hold their hand and do everything for them. And our homes as well. My daughter is 4 years old. I let her do certain stuff by her own. If it goes wrong, yeah, it goes wrong. I'll let her pour water into something else, and if it goes wrong, I'll just put a napkin on the floor. It's okay, it's not a problem. But if we keep looking at the mistakes which they do, we keep looking at things in a negative way. I don't tell students that they are wrong. I always tell the students that they had a different idea, that they did something in a different way. And in this way, we have a more positive view on what they're doing. And hopefully, they will like things more. They also have the experience here to get rewarded for doing certain stuff on certain days, for completing certain products. They can score points. And these points, I hope we'll still have it next year. These points, they help the students to buy certain things. They can buy a movie ticket, or even in the end, they have enough points, buy a day free from school. And here the students learn that for working, for doing things, for giving your best effort, you will get a reward. And as you could see with the teenager students in the movie, they didn't really have a view on money. They don't know how expensive things are. Who of us parents, takes our kid on the table in the evening and shows us how accounting works? How do we do the things at home? How do we pay for our bills? What bills do we need to pay? Why do we have this insurance? Why don't we have another insurance? No, many parents do not do this. My parents did not do this as well with me. I left home, I left school, and I didn't know anything about money. Yeah, I could earn money. I was already working for a while, but I got all my bills in and I just pay all my bills. It would be okay. I just started at work like that. I get a bill, I pay my bill. I get a bill, I pay my bill. But there are many more things: taxes, how to get money back from the government. And we as parents should not only prepare our students in an academic way, also in the way how we will live further on. Cooking, cleaning, folding the wash, accounting, small things at home. There's a broken tap for water. Instead of fixing it yourself or let the repairman fix it, take your child by the hand. Look at what we're doing. Look at which tools we use. Look at what happens if we don't turn off the water before we change something. The water will fly everywhere. Let a student learn. Let our kids learn about all the things that we do at home. I really like it that my youngest daughter in the morning already makes her own bed. She goes into the bedroom, is done with her pillow. She gives me the blanket, takes clothes off, and she goes to shower. This is a progress we have every morning. She needs to do her stuff every morning. When she's done with me, after she washed, brushed her teeth, she will go into the living room where she will scream, "Mama, Mama!" And my wife needs to stand there with her arms wide and give her a big hug in the morning. And nowadays, during the COVID virus, many students told me we have a problem with scheduling. We don't have a real schedule. Learn your child to do a schedule at home as well. Come home, wash your hands, wash your feet. Those things, if they keep on doing it, it will become a rhythm and they will not look at this as something that needs to be done. They look at something which is the new normal. Coming home and taking a shower, for me, the first couple of weeks, I was a little bit unpleasant about this. But now I don't know anything else that I come home, I don't say hi to my kids, I wash my hands, take a shower, and put on clean clothes. Why? I don't want my kids to get sick. We now have a horrible virus. Maybe in 10 years or in 5 years, there will be an even more horrible virus. And we need to be sure that we get our students and our children into a certain rhythm, that they keep themselves clean, that they keep themselves safe from danger. Now, Choices to make: college, university, or a apprenticeship. Now, I don't know much about the apprenticeships here in Indonesia. I grew up in a different country, so I didn't really go deeply into this. I know there are some schools in which we can do an apprenticeship. Now, college and university, we study at an academic level. This means you need to study hard and by yourself. Some students are just not an academic student. They don't like to study. This is not their thing. I was exactly the same. I didn't like to sit and study. When I got a punishment at home, the thing that I need to do is to sit still and read a book. And the way how my parents punished me also made me. So academic, most for students who are, we can get a master's or doctors or bachelor. Master, if we have our first education, a bachelor, we can grow. If we go into a medical way, a doctor, if we go into a technical way, we can become the University of €1,000 for 2 years, and I just don't have the money for it. I want to do it, but I can't. There is no way I can pay for this, so it's better for me to take a longer study. It saves me some money. Now, what happens? Most of us, when we leave college or university, we don't have to start at the bottom of the ladder. We can start halfway. We start with a higher pay. We also had higher costs. So a higher pay is nothing more than normal. So the negative effect, of course, high costs. The negative effect as well is when we leave school, when we leave university, we have almost no experience with working. Now, the problem with most companies is when you hire someone who has never worked, they are really reluctant to hiring you because you have no experience. As an entrepreneur, as a boss of a company, I really do not care if you have 20 cool papers with an A plus on it. I want you to do your job. I want you to be able to work well together with the rest. I want you to be able to do the stuff that I want you to do. It's nice that you have a piece of paper. But what do we do with this when we leave school? Not that much anymore. It's nice to have it. You have something to build on for getting a higher wage than the rest. And that's about it. Most of the things I learned for mechanics, I didn't learn it at school. Maybe 10% I learned at school. The things about management, time management, and accounting, but those have nothing to do with being a mechanic or being an engineer. No, I learned everything on the work floor. I learned everything when I was busy repairing machines, building machines, welding, constructing, assembling. You learn much more, at least in my way. I learned much more with my hands than I could ever do from a book. Now, the problem with college and university as well is for some students, this might be a level which is a little bit too high, and they have the chance to drop out. They don't only have no education when they drop out, they have their high school education, and that's it. The other problem is they have. So look at yourself. You're going onto the market as a employee. You have no experience. You have no grades, and you need a lot of money because you have a lot of debt. This is a big challenge for some of them. They found a job somewhere during their study, and they rather work and not finish their study. And they are lucky, but many of us will not be that lucky. Looking at an apprenticeship is a lower level of education. We learn how to do our job. The maximum degree we can get for an apprenticeship is a bachelor. At least in my country, the highest I could get was a bachelor. I still needed to study a little bit more to get it, but normally this is the end for you, unless you want to study further and you need more time, you need to argue with your boss, I want to do a little bit more, and maybe you can find a way how you and your boss can pay for your study. Now, you work and you learn, you study and you earn. But what does this actually mean? Is that you're already working, but you're still studying. You're learning while you're earning. So, in a bigger perspective, you are already developing yourself much further. You don't have a lot of debt because you can earn money already. You get experience. You learn how to work in teamwork. With an apprenticeship, you are much more prepared for joining the workforce. So, looking at the apprenticeship itself, the education has a lower cost. Most of the education might be paid by yourself already because you're working. Sometimes you have a wonderful boss who will say, hey, I will pay half of your education. I can get this back from the government as an investment in you. And you sign a contract that you keep working there for 2 more years when your education is done. And you have something to look forward to. You have something to build for. You study, you look at what you're going to earn, you look at which job you can get, and you have a perspective for the future. If you leave the university, you are all on your own. There is nothing yet for you. You need to find everything. And with an apprenticeship, you can already build up a connection in a company. You can work yourself up even before you leave school. Now, the educations of an apprenticeship are shorter, but with more hand experience, more working experience. When you drop out of an apprenticeship, you are already working for a company. You already have experience. So the chances, if you don't want to continue your study, maybe your boss really likes you and still wants you to work for him or her. And you have more chance of getting a job. Now, of course, a college, a university degree will earn you a lot more money than you will earn with an apprenticeship. But there are some apprenticeships which also earn just as much money as leaving university. For an example, if you work as a fitter on a uh, oil platform in the middle of the sea, you have a wage which can lay around $4,000 or $5,000 a month, maybe even more. You have to work a lot, but you have a really specialized job, and companies pay a lot for this. Maybe if you leave university and you work for a bank, the first year you will only have $3,000. So sometimes a skill is rewarded more than a degree. It depends in which sector you come to work. It depends in how well you can sell yourself to your boss. Now, why to choose? Oh, I missed the letter N. Why to choose an engineering path for the future? Well, as you can see, I put in a couple of cool pictures. Robots are taking over our world. Actually, we build the robots, so we do this ourselves. Now, we have endless opportunities and chances to grow. With engineering, we can look at electronics, we can look at construction, we can look at building internet sites and IT. It is much more than just building a machine. With engineering, we can grow in many different ways. In engineering, you will also learn how to do management. You will learn accounting. You will learn how to work together. So it's not that you can only fix one type of machine. You are quite versatile and doing a lot of jobs inside the company. Now, a reason why to choose for engineering is automation. In one point, we have robots taking things over. You lose your job. Automation is bad for us. The other way, someone needs to make these robots. Someone needs to make these programs. Someone needs to keep them up to date. If you are creative and you have this visionary skill of making a hard job easy with a robot, then you have a good job in this. So a robot might send you home and you might lose your job, but if you studied well, you might be the one who repairs the robot. A nice example for this is for the younger people under us. We had a movie, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where they had a chocolate factory where employees got sick, employees stole certain IDs, employees were not nice to each other, and the owner of the chocolate factory, Willy Wonka, sent everyone back home. There was no more chocolate for anyone. But after a while, chocolate came back on the market. Trucks were leaving again. Willy Wonka found a way how to do his whole factory without employees, without people who get tired, without people who get sick, without people who complain. Now, this is a nice view about how things can develop. So we as employees, we always need to be able to sell ourselves to our boss. I need to keep working because I'm important for this company. So to be able to sell a product, to be able to present yourself as a product, that's a skill we learn here at our school as well. Now, a changing world, the age of electricity and robotics. For the older persons under us, we grow up in a world without mobile phones. Robots weren't there much yet. Nothing was automized. Storage clerks, everyone was still having their own job. Nowadays, if you look at let's take for example Alibaba with their gigantic storage capacity. They have robots running inside. They pack everything. They do everything. And all the employees are worked out in this way. The process in a while will become cheaper, so it has no use to hire employees anymore. The cost for an employee here in Indonesia is quite low, so there are not many robots here yet. There are not many educations here which teach students how to build or how to fix certain electronic equipment. So in a while, this will develop more and more here, and slowly, the Indonesian grade of education will become higher, and there will be more jobs with a higher pay and more jobs which need a higher education. And the jobs of the future, analysts. A computer can look at numbers, but a person still needs to analyze things. We need engineers, people who can invent something, developers for programs. Look at how many programs are on our mobile phone. There need to be people who can develop these things. IT specialists. You can find computers and communication devices everywhere. This will become even more important with smart machines, machines which can think by themselves, looking at the Nest system in which all the machines at your home work together. You come home, the Nest system looks at you where you are at your mobile phone, sends a GPS location. It takes Mr. Yelmer 20 minutes to get back home. I already turn on the coffee machine. So when Mr. Yelmer is home, he has a fresh coffee. And things will become more and more automated. Jobs we need are, of course, electricians. Everything in our world is electronic, and we need people who are good with electricity. Constructors, houses are still being built by hand. We have machines which can help us, but we still need to do a lot of things by hand. We can make a house into certain separate units. We build a house in a factory, and these units go on a big truck, and the house gets placed with everything inside it already in a couple of days. But there are still people who need to connect certain dots together. Healthcare, we will always need our doctors. There will never be a machine in which we will step, a flashy light goes off, and we're healthy again. This doesn't work. We are living beings. We need someone who we can talk with. Not all the diseases are a broken bone or a strained muscle. We have diseases in our head. We have a headache, stress. The machine cannot fix these things. And of course, we need the operators, the people who can work with the machines, the people who can work with a program, who can make a product with a machine. Now, changing our world, automation in daily processes. I'm taking a look at things we see every day and what has happened over the past years. Looking at retail, looking at us selling things, automated. How many online shops are there? When we were younger, people were reluctant to order things online because it will never come. Nowadays, almost everything, and especially during the COVID virus, is being ordered online. Look at the Gojeks, they are driving everywhere. So the problem for them is shops in the city center will not get any visitors anymore, and the rents in the city centers are too high. So retail has no other choice. To keep their heads above water, they need to become automated. Looking at call centers, you call a company, there's something wrong, and you need to explain what is wrong. They keep you on the phone for 30 minutes. These things will be automated. A program will take you to a couple of choices. So you don't have to chat with these people for so long anymore. They can kick half of the people out. Smart equipment will see that it's broken. A PC can see what is wrong. If we connect all of our equipment together, an equipment can even call for their own repairman. It knows what is wrong, it can analyze the problem, and in maybe 10, 15 years, we don't even have to call the repairman anymore. The day your machine broke, 20 minutes later, someone is on your doorstep to fix it, and it's part of services. Consultants, someone who advises you on your mortgage, who advises you on your choice of school. How many things are already online? How many forms can you fill in, which gives you an automated rollout of what you need to do? These things are so easy to make. These things are just a computer program with a formula behind it. So many consultants, many people who choose economy, they will also be jobless in the long while. Looking at taxi drivers and public transport, well, if you've been to the Kuala Lumpur airport, you've seen that the buses there are already automated. The Uber cars are making automated cars. Google as well, they want to make cars which drive by themselves. In a while, we'll have a system which just takes us from one place to another automatically, like gigantic conveyor belts which take us from village to village, from places in the city center, and cars. Oil will become more expensive and cars will become more and more a luxury product. We don't want to pollute the entire city anymore. The city doesn't have a lot of space anymore. Where can we park our cars? And over time, more and more cars will disappear, and over time, public transport will become more important. Education. We'll take a look at our own school right now. Our school already has a complete online system with tests, with automatic grading, videos linked to everything. In a while, are we teachers still needed? Can we find everything online? Is it better for me to quit my job here and go onto YouTube and teach on YouTube, make lessons on YouTube? Maybe I can earn my money in that way as well. So education, in some ways, it has a future. Our children still need someone who develops their social behavior. But most of the lessons they can be automated. Almost everything can be found online. We only need to make a video once about a certain lesson, and 5 million students can use the video. I can teach a class of 5 million if I want to. So many students can be choosing online teaching and no more teachers in front of class. Now, how to help our children to make the choices. Some of our kids are young, If I ask my own daughter, what do you want to become? She says, I want to be a mermaid. They're really nice, but you can swim and breathe on the water, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Now, here at school and online, there are career path tests. You can make one of these tests. I remember me making it in high school, and from all the things I wanted to become, it didn't end up. I wanted to do archaeology. I wanted to do stuff with geography. My career path test told me I would be a farmer or something with engineering. Looking at myself when I was 30 years old, I worked as an engineer and I had a big farm. The career path test was perfect for me. Even if I didn't like it, it wound up exactly as it did. Now, letting them explore. With letting them explore, I mean let your kid do things at home. Let them open some drawers. Let them take a look at what is inside. We are stuck at home now, and it is better to let them learn from the things that they see and touch than to just put them behind YouTube or a video. This doesn't let them do anything. They need to work with their hands. My youngest daughter is 1.5. She takes all of the little Tupperware boxes out of the cabinet and she tries to do stuff with this. She tries to build a castle and put them on top of each other, take the lids out. I just let her do it, and she will start to cry. They don't fit anymore. I say, yeah, they don't fit anymore. You mix them up. And in this way, I have my hands free because she will be doing the thing that she likes because she chose it, so she likes it. And I can do the stuff that I want at that time, and she is happy as well. I don't have to buy any toys in this way. It's really handy. Now, internships and family companies. What we might do with our students and our kids is here at school we have our internships, but let them take a run at a family company or a company of a friend. Let them take a look there. Let them do something. Let them spend their energy. Everyone, when we start working, we start at the bottom of the ladder. We need to wipe the floors, we need to clean the stuff, and this is where everyone has been at one day in our lives. I have cleaned toilets as well when I was 14, 15 years old. There's nothing wrong with this. And we should learn students that career and education is a ladder. And you can try to jump on the ladder halfway, but it's quite dangerous. It's better to take every step of the ladder so you know how things work later as well. Now, to help around the house, cooking, gardening, rewards and punishment to look at the child's mind. Now, I wanted to chat about you with this. It will be the last thing. We're almost out of time. Me as a kid, I got punished for things which I do wrong. When my parents split up, I was 12. My mom did things completely the other way. She gave me the full confidence to do stuff. She lets me cook all by myself and she lets me make mistakes. And she says, yeah, if I hold your hand every day, I'm not gonna help you. If I let you do what you want to do, you will become better at this, then I show you what you need to do. So for my 13th birthday, I got a cooking book and I used it once. It is still in my mom's kitchen. And because I liked what I wanted to do, I liked to cook, I got a feeling for this and I got happy by doing this. And my mom didn't tell me anymore that I needed to cook. It's your day to cook. No. I come home, I say, I want to cook today. Instead of cleaning the house, stuff which children do not like, look at them as a reward. Look at them as something funny. Look at how cool a vacuum cleaner is, or how cool a mop is. What kind of stuff we can do with this. Make a challenge with the children to let them do the dishes. Some children really do not like this. Some people really like this because they can stand next to each other. If I need to do the dishes alone, I don't like it. If I have someone next to me and we can chat with each other, we can have some fun together. Doing the dishes is not a punishment anymore. Doing the dishes is something fun. So look at the things that you are doing by your own now at home and try to find a way how we can do this with our children, how we can prepare them for when they leave the nest, when they leave our house. Eventually, we need to let all of our students and all of our children go. They will become 18, 19, 20. They want their own place. Some of us leave 30 years old, but eventually, a place of their own. Give them the confidence that they can do it. Guide them, but don't hold their hand. We can show them the way, but we shouldn't put them in a trolley and bring them somewhere. This doesn't teach them anything. They will not learn anything from it. Life is a challenge with a lot of paths to take. And if you take the wrong path, you've seen a beautiful scenery maybe, but you need to walk it twice. So you will learn not to do this mistake again. Maybe you like to make your mistakes. Maybe you like things to go wrong. But many of us only want to do things wrong once. Now, it's almost out of time. I'll close the PPT file and let's look if there are any questions. Good afternoon again. Okay. Are there any questions from any of the parents? Do you want to comment on anything? Is there anything that you want to know? Or do you have any ideas of what you are doing with your children at home? Can we, as fellow parents and teachers, learn something from you? Anyone still there? No problem, Pak Crisanto. Is there any one of us parents who are letting the kids do many things at home right now? Does anyone have any idea for the other parents to do with the children at home? How can you handle them when they're at home all day long? I don't know this much of it because I'm here at school every day, but my wife is really busy with it. They are hanging the wash together and try to separate the wash into colors, try to separate trash. We have a plastic can and a metal can, one for fruit and vegetables. Is there anyone else who want to share something for today? Take a look at YouTube. Are there any messages there? Take a look at YouTube. Are there any messages?
Okay, so Is there any question for Pak Jelmer? All right. All right. Guess everyone
Nice and
has
quiet,
understood.
Madoni.
Yep.
That means that it's totally clear, or everyone is already
Mm-hmm.
sleeping.
Yeah. Apparently, it's very clear, Pak. Sorry, I was a little bit disconnected before. All right. I
Or
think we can continue next week with, if anyone have got question, you can also just simply write it down, type it down, and we can also discuss it by next week on Wednesday. So we will see you again on Wednesday. But maybe first and first, like before we end the session, let's turn on your camera so we can also do another photo session just like each day. Thank you for turning on your camera. All right, so I will start now. Okay, make sure you look beautiful. Right, okay. Ready? One, two, three. Okay, one more time. Different pose. One, two, three. Okay. I think Buya is promoting wear mask all the time, everyone. Please stay healthy. We will see you again tomorrow. We will have another meeting with Ibu Lydia for Finding the Soul. So we will see you at 4:30 p.m. Wita, hopefully with more people joining in. And please share as much as possible. Share this positivity and make it ripple as much as possible. All right, everyone, please stay healthy. We will see you again tomorrow and next week for the same topic with healthy. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
thank you
Thank
for
you
joining,
all.
everyone.
Good
Thank
evening.
you.